Hello everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm Emma, and today we are going to talk about something that every person experiences, but many people find difficult to explain in English. We are talking about bad days, difficult emotions, stress, disappointment, frustration, sadness, and those moments when you simply do not feel like yourself. Sometimes we know exactly what is wrong, but sometimes we just feel tired, uncomfortable, or emotionally heavy without understanding the reason.
And I'm Daniel. I think this topic is very important because English learners often study how to talk about positive things, such as success, happiness, travel, hobbies, and future plans, but real conversations are not always positive. Sometimes a friend asks, "How are you?" And the honest answer is not, "I'm great." Maybe you are exhausted, worried, disappointed, or emotionally overwhelmed. Today, we will show you how to express those emotions naturally without using only simple sentences like, "I am sad," or "I am angry."
Exactly. And before we begin, remember that you do not need to understand every single word immediately. Listen carefully, notice how we describe our feelings, and try to repeat some of the expressions after us. Daniel, let me ask you a simple question. How are you feeling today?
Honestly, I have had better days. Nothing terrible happened, but everything seemed to go wrong from the moment I woke up. I slept through my alarm, so I started the morning in a hurry. Then I spilled coffee on my shirt, missed my bus, and arrived late for an important meeting. During the meeting, I could not concentrate properly because I was still thinking about everything that had already gone wrong. By lunchtime, I felt mentally exhausted, even though the day was only half finished.
That sounds like one of those days when several small problems happen one after another, and together they become emotionally exhausting. Sometimes one small inconvenience is easy to manage, but when many things go wrong in a short period of time, it can feel like the whole world is working against you.
Yes, that is exactly how I felt. I knew the problems were not very serious, but I was still frustrated. I kept telling myself, "Calm down, Daniel. It is only a bad morning." But emotionally, I could not let it go. I felt irritated by everything. Even small noises bothered me, and when someone asked me a simple question, I almost responded rudely.
That is a useful expression. I have had better days. It means that you are not feeling very good, but you do not necessarily want to explain everything immediately. For example, someone may ask, "How are you doing?" And you can answer, "I've had better days, to be honest." It sounds natural, and it gives the other person a chance to ask what happened.
Another useful expression is, "I'm not feeling like myself today." You can use this when you feel emotionally different, physically tired, unusually quiet, or unable to concentrate. You may not know exactly what is wrong, but you know that something feels different.
Let us imagine that Daniel and I are friends meeting after work. Daniel looks tired, so I ask him about his day. "Daniel, you seem unusually quiet today. Is everything all right? You normally have a lot to say, but you have barely spoken since you arrived."
I'm not really feeling like myself today. I have been trying to stay positive, but I feel emotionally drained. It has been a long week, and I think all the pressure is finally catching up with me.
I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want to talk about what has been bothering you, or would you prefer to take your mind off it for a while?
I think talking might help. I have been working hard on a project for several weeks, and today my manager told me that the client was not satisfied with the result. I understand that feedback is part of the job, but I still felt disappointed because I had put so much time and energy into it.
That must have been difficult. It is completely understandable that you feel disappointed. When you work hard on something, criticism can feel personal, even when it is only about the work.
Exactly. Intellectually, I know that one unsuccessful project does not mean I am bad at my job, but emotionally it still hurts. I started questioning myself and wondering whether I was actually good enough. I know that sounds dramatic, but when you are already tired, one negative comment can feel much bigger than it really is.
It does not sound dramatic. It sounds human. Sometimes our emotions are stronger when we are tired, stressed, or under pressure. You may normally handle criticism well, but on a difficult day, the same criticism can feel overwhelming.
Thank you. I think the word overwhelming describes it perfectly. I felt like I had too many thoughts and emotions at the same time, and I did not know how to organize them.
Let us pause here and look at some useful expressions. Daniel said, "I feel emotionally drained." This means that you feel mentally and emotionally exhausted. You may still have physical energy, but you do not have the emotional strength to deal with more problems.
You can also say, "I have a lot on my mind." This means that you are thinking or worrying about many things. For example, "I'm sorry I seem distracted. I have a lot on my mind at the moment."
Another natural expression is, "It is all becoming too much." You can use it when responsibilities, problems, or emotions are becoming difficult to manage. For example, work, family responsibilities, and financial stress are all becoming too much for me.
And sometimes people say, "I need some space." This does not always mean they are angry with you. It may simply mean they need quiet time to think, rest, or calm down.
That is important because when someone is having a difficult day, we often want to fix everything immediately. However, sometimes the best thing we can do is listen without giving too much advice.
Yes. Imagine that your friend says, "I feel terrible because I failed an exam." It may not help to immediately say, "Do not worry. It is not a big deal." To you, it may not seem like a big deal, but to your friend, it may be very painful.
Instead, you can say, "I can understand why you feel upset," or, "That sounds really disappointing." These responses show empathy. You are not pretending that you can solve the problem. You are simply showing the person that their feelings are valid.
Let us practice another conversation. This time, Emma has had a difficult day. Emma, you have been staring at your phone for several minutes. Did something happen?
I received a message from a close friend, and I think she is upset with me. I canceled our plans yesterday because I was exhausted, but she thinks I do not value our friendship anymore. I tried to explain, but I feel like everything I say makes the situation worse.
That sounds stressful. Are you angry with her, or are you more worried about the friendship?
I think I am more hurt than angry. I understand why she was disappointed, but I wish she had asked me how I was feeling before assuming that I did not care. I have been under a lot of pressure recently, and canceling our plans was not an easy decision. I simply did not have the energy to go out and pretend that everything was fine.
That makes sense. Sometimes people only see our actions, but they do not see what is happening behind those actions. Your friend saw that you canceled, but she did not see how tired or emotionally overwhelmed you were.
Exactly. And now I feel guilty because I know she was looking forward to seeing me. At the same time, I also feel frustrated because I needed to take care of myself. It is difficult when two feelings exist at the same time.
That happens very often. You can feel guilty and frustrated, grateful and sad, or relieved and disappointed at the same time. Emotions are not always simple. You do not have to choose only one word to describe how you feel.
That is a very useful point. Instead of saying, "I feel bad," you can say, "I have mixed feelings about it." This means you have both positive and negative emotions about a situation.
For example, I have mixed feelings about moving to another country. I am excited about the opportunity, but I am also sad to leave my family.
Another phrase is, I don't know how to feel about it. You can use this when a situation is confusing and you have not fully understood your emotions yet.
Now, what can we say when we do not want to talk about our feelings?
You can say, I appreciate you asking, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet. This is polite and clear. You are showing appreciation, but you are also setting a boundary.
You can also say, I'm going through a difficult time, but I would rather not discuss the details. This is useful in professional situations, such as when speaking to a colleague or manager.
And when you need support, you can say, I don't need advice right now. I just need someone to listen. This sentence is very helpful because people often give advice when we only want emotional support.
Let us also talk about anger and frustration. Sometimes people say, I am angry, but there are many other natural expressions. You can say, I'm really annoyed, when something small is bothering you. You can say, I'm frustrated, when you are trying to solve a problem but cannot find a solution.
You can also say, I'm at the end of my patience. This means you have been patient for a long time, but now you are becoming very irritated.
For example, I have contacted customer service 5 times, and nobody has solved the problem. I'm at the end of my patience.
However, when you are angry, it is often better to pause before responding. You might say, I'm too upset to discuss this calmly right now. Can we talk about it later? This can prevent you from saying something hurtful.
That sentence is useful in relationships, friendships, families, and workplaces. It does not mean you are avoiding the problem. It means you want to discuss it when you can communicate more calmly.
Now let us talk about supporting someone who is having a bad day. What can we say?
You can say, I'm here if you need me. This is simple, but very meaningful. You can also say, you don't have to go through this alone. Or, take all the time you need.
Another useful expression is, be kind to yourself. We often speak kindly to our friends, but very harshly to ourselves. When we make a mistake, we may say, I am useless, or, I always ruin everything. But one mistake does not define your entire personality or future.
Exactly. A better sentence might be, I made a mistake, but I can learn from it. Or, today was difficult, but tomorrow may be different. These sentences are realistic. They do not pretend that everything is perfect, but they give you room to move forward.
Before we finish, let us review some of today's key expressions. I've had better days. I'm not feeling like myself today. I feel emotionally drained. I have a lot on my mind. It is all becoming too much. I have mixed feelings about it. I appreciate you asking, but I'm not ready to talk about it. I don't need advice right now. I just need someone to listen. I'm too upset to discuss this calmly right now. I'm here if you need me.
Try choosing 3 expressions and use them in your own sentences. You can describe a real experience, or create an imaginary situation. The goal is not only to understand these phrases, but also to make them part of your active English vocabulary.
And remember, having a bad day does not mean you have a bad life. Feeling tired does not mean you are weak. Feeling disappointed does not mean you have failed forever. Difficult emotions are part of being human, and learning to express them can help you communicate more honestly and build stronger relationships.
Thank you for listening to today's conversation. Take a deep breath, give yourself some patience, and remember that you do not need to solve every problem in one day.
We hope this episode helped you learn useful English for difficult moments. Keep practicing, keep listening, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. See you in the next episode.